Hey, good morning. How you guys doing? It's actually afternoon, I'm sorry. Yeah, let me pull open my YouTube comments so I can see what you guys are doing today and make sure I'm actually live streaming, and then we'll dive right into this madness. Okay? Beautiful. Here we are. Okay, as obligatory, let's talk about our daily Bitcoin update, yeah? Hmm. Hey, folks. Welcome to the daily Bitcoin update. Let's dive right into this from a macro to micro perspective, starting on our very high time frames and working our way down, just so we have a clear perspective of how to do this. Beautiful. So last night I did set up some leveraged longs directly on top of the weekly 200 moving average, simply because it's the most likely scenario that we're going to bounce on the weekly 200 moving average once more. And let's point that out real quick, okay? If we pull back all the way to our previous crash pattern, you'll notice that's exactly where our crash pattern ended, right? Three nice little bounces directly on top of that weekly 200 moving average. Granted, right now we are exactly on that same benchmark. It would be foolish not to take a bet that at least agreed with this in the short term, right? All you need to do is use proper risk management to actually enter on this kind of trade, right? Because what is your kind of profit ratio going to be? All that needs to happen is a dip to the downside, maybe a 3-4% upside, and your upside is over 20%, right? And it is important to note that we are just going to see lateral compression directly on top of that weekly 200 moving average for quite some time. On the daily chart, our longest overexpanded distribution is still technically in a state of downward expansion, right? As long as this continues to expand to the downside, that technically counts as downward trend. If you're going to take longs here, just be wary that you are betting against downward trend and that there is inherent risk involved with that, right? In fact, if we actually look at BTC USD on the current time frame, right, we're actually getting a new small bout of downward expansion from the 50 distribution, which does imply further downward trend, at least for now. And I do believe this is going to be the last leg down for our retest of that weekly 200 moving average before another hop to the upside. And actually, it's around 3,300 at the moment, so I believe it's another 3.5% to the downside is what we're currently expecting on this. Yep. So if we take a look at the 4-hour chart, beautiful. You'll notice all our CCI periods are weighted to the downside. We talked about this signal right here on yesterday's live stream with the CCI roll, but we did state there wasn't quite enough mass to actually take it seriously for the quad CCI strategy. However, with the significance of the trend, it appears that signal actually did work out for a good short entry. And now it looks like we are tagging the 3.2 standard deviation right here. However, due to the net compression of this relative area for the 50 distribution, I actually don't believe that it's really going to stop trending all that much, right? Because outlier benchmarks really don't mean much if you're tagging them from a place of compression, right? Since if you're getting a new expansion, well, that actually just signifies the beginning of trend, right? And if we're seeing the beginning of trend, we can anticipate return back down to our weekly benchmark. Okay, we'll take a quick look at the 1-hour chart to check our mean reversion pivots for this most recent move. And we just need to wait for the 3-wave PM to show us our longest overexpanded period of mass so we can get a good reading on this. Beautiful. Looks like our longest period is the 50 band. And I'm happy to say it looks like we are actually returning inside the 50 band right now. So, from the looks of it, looks like we are going to get some short-term mean reversion here, either through a quick trend or a lateral move. As soon as we do cross that pivot there, I do need a green candle close inside it to actually confirm. And then due to how short this period is, we will be taking a look at an even shorter time frame to make sure that this is doing well for us. A lot of choppy buying pressure here, remember guys? Same reason as our previous live stream when we get this new downward expansion but there's a lot of buying pressure to support the price anyway, right? That's accumulation. Okay, happy news. 50 times 4 is what? 200. So our 200 band is actually our definition of trend down here on the 15-minute chart. As soon as we do get that nice candle close inside of this band, we will expect, again, that mean reversion to the 200, or at least a lateral move. So not really quite our last downward leg just yet, right? Because if we actually do get that mean reversion, there will be some lateral trading and a little bit of stalling. However, we are still technically in a state of trend, and that downward expansion is still intact. So it is possible that we'll go down and test that weekly 200 right now if we wanted to, right? Because this is still a downward trend. You really shouldn't be taking longs until you always see that confirmed mean reversion pivot. And then, really, your best bet for a long is going to be directly on top of the weekly 200. So all in all, I do recommend just waiting this one out for the time being. At least layer up some longs down, well, all the way down here, right? And then if we do get a quick mean reversion position, that's going to be a nice scalp we can take as well. All right? That's going to be it for today's TradingView idea. It has been a pleasure, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Okay. I need a glass of water. Just give me 1 second, folks. I'll be right back. I have returned. I got some kombucha instead. It's really good. Whew. That's a lot of flavor. I love it. Okay. Michael Hurst says WTC, BTC, please. I'll check that out now. That's really quite the slow burn we've got going here, isn't it? Man, oh man. You know what the end of the crash pattern is, right? A period of reduced volume and reduced volatility. That's exactly what we're getting here. No, actually, we're still getting downward expansion. That's technically a short entry, right? It doesn't look like this is trend continuation, but this expansion implies it. Really no significant slope problem. Well, there is actually, yeah. Those CCI rolls at the downside, those are shorts. You know, you can't short this anywhere, so we're not going to talk about this long. Right, it's really not just an ideal chart at all. Sorry, guys. Caro says, do you think part-time trading is viable? Sure. Depends on your skill set. I mean, I'm a full-time trader, so yeah, part-time is possible because, well, I currently do the step beyond that. Dorothy says, hey Dad Shark, can you use your indicators on KuCoins or Hotbits TradingView charts? I was wondering what you think of Grin or Beam. What's Grin and Beam? And I don't know, I haven't tried. But maybe? You know, I mean, you could probably try to figure that out yourself, try loading up a custom indicator on those charts. But off of what I immediately know, I'm not sure. No, I don't think you can, right? Because it was a huge deal when you could, now enter the coin market cap tickers manually. No, you could enter the coin market cap tickers directly from TradingView instead of having to manually enter them. And that was a big deal since it allowed me to put my indicators on there, right? So to answer your question, no, I don't think it's possible to put these indicators on custom TradingView charts. And you guys need to ask me some questions. Oh God, look at this headline. Why the latest Bitcoin dump could actually launch the crypto market into bullish territory. I know if I click on this article, I'm just going to go in a scathing rabbit hole. But it's really tempting. And you know, he's probably right? If we test the weekly 200, that is going to be a bullish move. So I can't really hate all that much. It's just, I really don't like that kind of clickbait writing. Except that one's a little bit better than usual. I digress. All I want is a good trend, my folks. I think our only good trends are BNB, Theta. I sold my BNB way too soon. But let's take a look at Theta real quick. Yeah, because we can get intra into this in the near future. And MTL, I got a signal on that last night, but I didn't want to call it because Bitcoin's really bearish. Hold on. Okay, never mind. Apparently that signal was a good signal. I suck. Yeah, it's not too late. Like, how much on a percent? Oh, fuck, that's 3%? Really? Oh, man. I feel a little stupid. Okay, well, I'm going to set the same alert. Right. I was listening about this from a compression standpoint. Let's go to the 1 hour chart. First entry is the best entry, but it doesn't need to be, right? There are, from the looks of it, periods of, oh, no, this is good, right? Because look at this 50 band here, right? Because when we got this CCI roll up at the 50 period, we traded laterally as defined by the 50 period. That's cool. And it compressed to actually allow for new upward expansion. And we're actually seeing the same thing here. And now we actually have more mass on the 50 band than we did before. So this is actually pretty cool. I like this. Right, since we're seeing the initial mean reversion right now, and now we're going to get that lateral trading to allow for this compression, and we will be provided with secondary entry, okay? So I will be keeping an eye on this. I am probably going to call it, right? Just from a state of mass right now, we are going to get lateral trading, and that's fine, right? Because that's going to allow us entry anyway. It's just not the ideal entry that was right there last night. USD ZAR, please. Okay. Guys, ask me about coins, please. It's a beautiful snow day here. It's one of the days where I'm not going hiking because it's absolutely miserable outside. Ooh, exotics. What fun. It's a beautiful day, my folks. Just not for the things I typically like to do. Now we'll check if I any institutional benchmarks over here. I'm just going to zoom out just a touch. Actually, I'm glad I popped up to the weekly chart, because the weekly 200 is a very respected benchmark. You know, we might actually be retesting the weekly 200 from below. Right, that usually happens when you break its trend. Let's see. Let's go in the past and see if I can find any examples. Yeah, cool. Like when you break the weekly 200 here, you'll notice we pop up to retest it before trend continuation. These benchmarks are holding really hard. So, At least with our current price, yeah, it's totally possible we're going to reject exactly from the weekly 200. I really like this, yeah. Looks like we're already dipping down. We already tagged it, apparently. Okay. Yeah, it's right there. Goodness. For the 4 hour. Let's just check we're not expecting any kind of mean reversion here in the 4 hour. You could potentially look for a short entry here. That on the daily. Right? But there's no tags of extreme outliers at the moment. Okay. Are we getting compression as defined by the 50? Because that would be really convenient. No, by the 40. Okay. I can see that now. Ready? This is going to be really nice. This is a short entry right now, technically. Lateral trading as defined by the longest over expanded period. Yeah, this is good. God, everybody's looking at that shooting star candle right now. And if that closes, yeah, there's going to be a lot of short entries. Although, technically, shooting star candles are disconnected. And typically more often seen in stocks. This is more just a hammer candle to the downside. Right? But I don't do candle analysis. Okay. Yeah, so this is a short entry. Let's just define this real quick for us. And really, your best bet's going to find entry on a shorter time frame. But just while we're here on the 4 hour, let's draw it out. Okay. Local high is going to be your stop loss. And then our downside is just going to be the bottom edge of the band there, right? A little over 3 to 1. I might publish this idea because it's pretty clean. However, we're getting new expansion to the upside as defined by the regular wave PM. But there's a lot of volatility overhead, which implies a trend might fail. All in all, there's conflicting signals. Right, where we have this period compressing down on us. However, we're also getting net expansion to the upside. I mean, yes, you could enter a short here. We are directly beneath the weekly 200. Yeah, let's do it. And hold on. We need to make this more visible. Save as default. There we go. Actually, we need to change that to weekly. Then hit save as default. Perfect. Okay. So ideally, we would want to put our stop loss above the weekly 200. And if that's the case, well, we're going to have to be a lot more generous with our stop loss, I'll be honest. Okay? Yeah, you know, if we look at it this way, the profit ratio is really not there yet. I'll be honest. I might sit this one out for now, guys. It's a clean chart. It's bearish. It might be implied that we're going down. It's just that a retest of the weekly 200 is possible, and that might screw up with our profit ratio. I like it, but profit ratio is not there for me. Okay, if you want to do really low leverage and do it like this, then be my guest, right? If you want to imply trend continuation for a long-term trade, that might suit you really well. Okay, like do something like 5 to 1 there. I'm going to guess there's a trend line here. Yeah, I don't care. Okay. Actually, you know, I just want to see what other people are looking at right now. See what they think of this. Nah. It's pretty. Okay, let me do XRP. I do not like this chart, okay? Yeah, remember how we had this downward expansion and then it was replaced with upward expansion on the lower time frame, and it just created some really nasty volatility overhead? Right, this is what I'm looking at. This downward expansion here became upward expansion, and then you have previous mass reading creating just this lateral band, and that doesn't do us any good. Yeah, I have no opinions on this. Do Ethereum. Technically a short entry. We are technically seeing a short entry. Okay, but yeah, this is just such a defined downtrend. Actually, I'm going to wait for the CCI roll down, if I'm being honest, here on the 4 hour, because really that's going to be the safest entry for shorts. So, nothing yet, okay? I'll set up the alert. Okay. Dorothy says, I subscribe to your previous channel, and because of your obvious expertise, I subscribed to the Premier Calls. They're about 5 months back. Your ex-colleagues at TLAW think that Bitcoin might go down way down yet. You seem to think downtrend is almost finished. Yep, I do. You know, I should not talk about my contacts. Okay, strictly from a TA perspective, yes, I do believe it is possible. I also have some private information that I shouldn't divulge, but yeah, guys, there are heavy signs of accumulation going on right now, both from TA and both from what I've heard from my institutional investor friends. Okay, accumulation is in. The signs are there from the chart, and then I have had confirmation from what people have told me. And, you know, on Bitcoin, we are technically in a state of downward trend on the daily chart. Like, implying that we're going to go lower, sure, that's fine, right? It's really stupid not to try to take advantage of an institutional benchmark, especially on the weekly time frame, okay? Yeah, you don't ignore it, right? When we touched the weekly 50, we had a huge rally touch the daily 200, right? And then what's really nice is if we do break this, it's very likely we'll retest it from below before continuing our downtrend. right? It's actually the secondary rejection from the weekly 50 that actually caused some the continuation of the downtrend. And you'll actually notice we retested a secondary time on the weekly 50, right? Like these benchmarks are just too well respected to ignore on any time frame. Like if you go and look at the NASDAQ composite at the .com level, you'll see the crash pattern ended on the monthly 200, right? So just from a profit ratio perspective, there's no reason not to attempt a position here. Yes, we are technically in a state of defined downward trend, but the profit ratio is too good to ignore, right? Your downside is 2%, your upside is 20%. It's a 10-to-1 profit ratio. And then if you want to do like a futures contract and just leave it open and expecting that we're going to see the same bounces along the same benchmark as we did in the previous crash pattern, you do that too. Then you switch up to like an 800-to-1 profit ratio, right? And no, I did not missay that. It's an 800-to-1 profit ratio if you have a downside of a couple percentage points and then expect the same upside as the previous bull run. Granted, the futures contract expires in June, but you know, if you just leave it open until June, you might do pretty well for yourself. That's actually what I did. I created a leverage buy spread down in the weekly 200, right? And then I'm just expecting, well, actually, how big of an upside am I expecting? I should probably talk about that, right? Okay, yeah, I would really more expect retest of top edge of the 250 band on Bitcoin. And really that pivot's going to decline rapidly. Okay? And at the bare minimum, mean reversion pivot. So again, if we do cross our mean reversion pivots, probably head up to around 5,000 at the highest. PTC ABC. What? You mean BCH ABC? Pretty sure that's what you mean. Except I don't want the US pair. Sorry. BCH ABC BTC. I got a small bag of this. It's just a really nice high price volatility range. Oh shoot. I keep on my take profit targets, folks. Right there. Yeah. Shoot. Alright, because I entered on this 3.2 standard deviation tag. And I keep on missing out on these wicks for my take profit. However, I mean, just this is lateral range. I really am expecting another bump like this. Like, there's so much compression going on right now. Like, the right kind of net expansion is really going to cause this to rocket. And I cannot ignore, you know, 100% upside. Yeah, it's probably going to be more like a 60% upside this time. But, you know, the profit ratio is there. I'm just staying in this position until there's net downward expansion. And then I'm hoping there's net upward expansion. It's a smaller position because the risk was pretty high. But I like the chart. It's not something I really can call because I can't offer you good risk management because of the way I'm personally trading this. Take a look at Link. Hi Pascal, how are you doing, brother? Thank you for joining the stream. You know, I've had a little bit of extra free time because of the snow, right? If it's a snow day, instead of hiking, I'll either read books or paint. But maybe like 5 years ago, I played a game called Sunless Seas. It's about it's like a deep sea exploration game, except it's top down. It's all text based, right? It's a text based adventure game essentially. The sequel finally came out, Sunless Skies, and it's really atmospheric. It's pretty much like reading a Lovecraft novel, except it's a choose-your-own-adventure story. I really like text-based adventure games, and I don't know, man. It's one of the few options, or like one of the few times you actually get a real sense of wonder from that kind of thing. Great soundtrack too. I really recommend it. You should look into it. Bit of a time sink, but I haven't had all that much free time recently, so. 19 viewers. Hi guys. I like how I typed Pascal into the ticker. That's pretty funny. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can probably enable super chat today. I should do that. And if you want to tip me, just DM me. I'll provide you my Bitcoin address. Or you can just, better yet, buy my calls or indicators. Or lessons. Holy shit. Yeah, I'm on lesson 5 of 6 for the private lessons, guys. It's only going to be discounted for about another week. So I very much recommend you take a look at that. Right, because as soon as I finish the next lesson, I'm taking the discount off, and it's going to go up to full price. I also might add a 7th lesson, and then just increase the price from there. Right, because I just have a lot of things to say. And I don't think 6 hours of content is quite enough to capture everything I know. BQX. This is retracing pretty nicely. It's just not at the value it needs to retrace to, right? We're waiting for the 350 MA. We're not there yet. So I've got nothing to say on this chart. BNB. Andre, do you mind if I do the BNB BTC pairing instead of the USD pairing? Okay. Re-entries of the 3.2 standard deviation from a place of significant mass is a short sell signal. Okay? We just got our green candle close inside the 3.2 standard deviation. That implies short-term retracement. Now is a great time to take profit. Now is a great time to take profit. If you're in BNB, take profit. Okay? I cannot stress that enough. Although, admittedly, I did take profit on BNB right there, so who knows what I'm talking about. Oh, this is also a 40 band. Hold on. Cool. I forgot to do link. Yeah, I did. Wow. Think about that. Also, what ticker would you like me to do for silver? I think I'm going to save my default chart template with the custom time frame MAs open. Because it's pretty useful. God, kombucha is so good. Yeah, as predicted, we're just getting a compression. Nice compression, the shedding of mass. You see how all this, the volatility overhead's just radiating upward? That's good. Right, that allows for trend continuation. Or new downward expansion. It really depends. So really with this chart, I'll play it careful. Right, trend is no longer defined. We're getting potentially distribution. It's possible that we might run up and test the top edge of this band again, but we really need to shed some mass before any farther continuation, and the range isn't really defined enough to laterally trade it, so I'd stay away from this coin for now. Might come down, retest the weekly 50 again. That's my first thought. And we're getting implied mean reversion to what value? Or is this a new downward expansion? Let's find out. In fact, actually, hold on. Might have something interesting here. Wow, that really changed the band. I didn't think it would do that. Yeah, I think a test of the weekly 50 is very likely, and the define range would totally allow for it. Right? Because we can trend down to at least the bottom edge of this band. I would not be surprised if we just came down, retested a confluence of the bottom edge of that band and the weekly 50. That'd be your best bet. Do I make my own kombucha? No, and I have no idea how it's made, and I don't want to know how it's made. Because I'm pretty sure I would stop drinking it if I knew. I'm a very sanitary person. I am not interested in how they make kombucha. I used to like, actually, no, I still do. What's it called? Oh, I got one of those really nice tea bricks from the 1980s. It's Pu'er tea. That's what it's called, right? Essentially, they just leave it in a cold, dark room or a cold, warm room that's damp, and they just let it ferment for 10 years. And it was pretty good tea, right? But it's I don't know, it wigs me out. What's your take on Wyckoff? Yeah, I'll tell you. Wyckoff is really good on macro level time frames, okay? And you're going to see it primarily on stocks and indices, right? You're going to have a best time using it there. Wyckoff on lower time frames really isn't going to be all that effective, you know? Then it just becomes drawing your breakout patterns or just more advanced breakout patterns. However, if you pair it with the right volume analysis, it can be effective. Check out DLT. Quad CCI strategy is a really good Bravo ratio for us, right? Just we need to figure out if we're having implied mean reversion. 350 band. No, actually, I was wrong. Yeah, we're getting implied mean reversion. We just retest the top edge of the band. We will be retracing down to this blue line here, okay? Stay away from this. If you could short this, short it. Does anyone know if we can short DLT? Because I want to short the shit out of this. Let's take a look at Theta now. Yeah, BTFD, I'm pretty sure you actually mentioned Theta before it popped off. Yeah, as soon as we run into that 50 band, we will retrace down to the 50 MA. It's really way too high risk to be attempting anything here, right? But at least from the looks of it, it's potentially pretty clean. I would just wait for the retrace, man. It's not worth the risk right now. It was so pleasant. I spent like $10 for the entire jug. I got like a huge jug of it. Too hot right now. Hey. That's a good way to describe it. I like that. I'm going to use that from now on. Thank you. Hey, let's get up to 20 viewers, my friends. If you are not already subscribed to this channel, please do so. I do this every day, essentially. Same time, 1 p.m. MST. Also, if you could like this video, that would be tremendous help. Viewer interaction and retention is very good for YouTube's algorithm on getting these videos out there. So, like the video, hit the notification bell, subscribe, and also subscribe to PewDiePie, I guess. I don't know. Right? It's imperative that my 18 viewers are aware of that. Also, I'm pretty sure my bamboo plant is dying. I don't know how I managed that. I'm going to try to water it. You know, I totally didn't need to, but it's got a sad leaf at the moment. Probably just cut it off. Okay. What else do I got here? DGD, let's do it. You know, yeah, I think why I don't have a hot chat is because I was looking for something with simplicity, you know? I really wanted just a classless society here in the Discord. Right? There's no colored tags except for the veterans who have been with me for a long time, the students, and the premium sharks, right? There's no bots in the channel. It's just clean, it's simple, it's a small community, there are very few channels. And, you know, as far as the actual live stream, I don't have anything on it. I could probably like put my logo in the corner or something. That'd be good. Oh, Legend Rage. I would say, especially after last night, AUDNZD's example of failed mean reversion. Nope, because you see high price volatility at key pivots on your macro timeframes. Right, you know what that means? I'll point it out to you. Or is it AUDNZD? Excuse me. Here's the thing about mean reversions. All right, let's go to the 110 period. And get your final questions in because I think I'll be finished after this chart. High price volatility at key pivots, right? So, what does this mean for us? From a quad CC, or for a mean reversion, we want a 110 period CCI roll up to actually enter, and that only just happened here, and it's about to happen again, right? That's how you got to trade mean reversions. You have to wait for the relative CCI roll up, and this one, I called this one because there was the shorter term mean reversion on top of it as well. And while you may be correct, yes, technically entering the band is the condition and the CCI roll is the signal. So you can re-enter this for the potential long mean reversion position, right? Because mean reversions fail very rarely. It's just more often that you see high price volatility and lateral trading. That stops you out, right? We'll check out DGD and I'll be on my done. Okay, new downward expansion. I wouldn't touch this, okay? We have a new downward trend. Leave it alone, okay? I know, super exciting chart. All right, folks. It's been fun. Dad Shark out. I'll see you guys later.